Hi! So when I did my video of the overview of the Midori's Traveler Notebook, I didn't expect a couple of things. First of all, I didn't expect to already have moved out of my original Midori. That I did not see coming. I also did not predict as much as I loved it. In fact, I even said in my video, this will be strictly for journaling, for doodling, for quotes. I'm not messing with my planning system. Yeah, about that. So that didn't stick. I wanted to show you my new beauty. This is the ButeoBunker. I will link down below the Etsy shop. It is gorgeous. As much as I loved my original Midori, that's how much more I love this notebook. It is so floppy soft. It has a little bit more structure perhaps, but you can see this is the thick and supple, and you can see just how thick and supple it is. It is gorgeous, and the main reason that I outgrew my Midori so quickly was that you really can only fit about 3 notebooks and maybe a folder without getting some overhang. And so once I started doing some planning in my Midori, I really needed to expand. So this one only has 2 strings on the inside. This one has 4 elastics, that is. It also has the binding, instead of the strap coming from the back, the elastic, it comes from the side, which is awesome. And just look how much more it holds. So out with the old. I will still use this for something, I'm sure. I don't know what yet. And in with the new. Let's dive right in. So I have on here, on my elastic, just a Tim Holtz word band, as well as the little piece of leather that ButeoBunker sent. He also sent an elastic with my initials on the leather, so I'm keeping that with my original Midori for right now as decoration. But I will show you how I've got it set up. I tried to make myself a dashboard, one of the laminated dashboards that you can see all sorts of examples of, but I could never get the dimensions quite right, and I finally got sick of messing around with it and just decided to put some sticky notes, use some adhesive roller, and put some sticky notes on my actual leather cover. I've checked, and when I peel it off, it doesn't seem to damage the leather at all, but it stays stuck really well. So I have just some iPhone stickies from Walmart, and then my Dollar Spot craft paper stickies. So I just have those there because they're 2 of my favorites to just jot down notes. Right now I have a list of things that we needed to buy. So my first book, I will link below the tutorial that I used to make the covering for it. But this is just a piece of scrapbook paper that I'm covering the light weight paper insert from Midori. So I have just a Project Life card on the front with the word nourish. That's my word for 2015 for all aspects of my life, just to nourish, just as a focus. So I will show how I'm using it. I've got my favorite poem that starts all of my journals, When I Fears That I May Cease to Be by John Keats. I love this poem, so I always start with that. But this paper, when I first used it, I really wasn't so sure because it is so thin. The standard Midori inserts have 64 pages, but this one's so thin that with the same thickness they can have 128, so it's about half as thin. And at first I was frustrated because I was getting, you can see through all of it, and I was getting impressions on the next pages when I was writing down, because I use a ballpoint so I don't smear ink, because I smear when I use other pens. And I was frustrated with it, but then I tried it with watercolor, and I saw why people love it, because it absorbs medium so well. And once I made a writing board, which I'll show you in just a minute, I absolutely get the love. So this is just a quote from one of my professors in divinity school, and I stuck on the back of it to kind of make up for having messed up a couple of pages by bearing down too much. I went to a retreat on food farming and faith last fall. And so there were some book lists that I have been hanging on to with nowhere to put them. So I stuck them in here. Another quote along those same lines. Again, using some watercolor. This is my quotes, Bible verses, sorts of things like that. It's just things that, and watercolor, things that make me happy, things that inspire me. There's not really an order to it yet. I'm still just getting started with it. But there's another quote, Carl Sandburg. I just thought that was funny. And here is my writing board that I made. I just took a piece of A5 lined note paper and cut it down, and a piece of scrapbook paper and cut it down, and passed it through the laminator. And then I've got one of the Tim Holtz metal file tabs, that's what they're called, that I stuck on to keep track. And so I just stick it in, and I can write down. I've got the lines coming through since these are blank pages, so I can keep my writing straight and it doesn't go through. I can bear down as hard as I want, and my pages behind it are protected. So I'm really enjoying that. Glad I made it. It didn't take too long. The way that since I want to have some topics that I can reference, but I don't want to have an index at the front, and so instead I'm using some washi tape so that when I look to the side, I can still, you can't really see, but you can see where the different washi tape is. So these are all quotes about motherhood that I liked. So that's going to go on for several pages. And again, I haven't gotten anywhere near filling this up, plenty more pages, but that's how I'm going to divide the different topics for themes, is using just a little bit of washi to start each new one. So that's my first book. My second book is the planning that I'm doing in here. I'm not doing weekly planning yet, but I realized I was already taking this with me everywhere. My traveler's notebook came with me everywhere. And so since that was already going on, I didn't see the need to keep bringing around my pocket planner that I was using for my monthly planning, but I did still need a monthly calendar to keep with me at all times. So I decided to add another book. I made this one myself. I printed it off from Ray Blake's My Life All in One Place. Again, I'm going to do a lot of linking below, so make sure you check out the description. My printer was actually running out of ink, the blue ink, and so all the pages have this blue line across it. This is supposed to be gray, and this is supposed to be red, but this is how it all came out. And once I got a new printer, I decided, because that printer was awful, I decided I kind of liked this and didn't want to bother with reprinting it. So that's why mine looks a little bit different than the one that you're going to find on there. But it's 2015 and 2016, month on 2 pages, completely free, and really, really easy to use. So you can see how here is February. And I used, again, I will link the tutorial below, but I used the ideas from, I believe it's Robin's tutorial on making a bookmark. But what I did, instead of using scrapbook paper, because I wanted to be able to see through it, I just took some excess laminating sheet after I laminated something, made a strip, cut a slit, and stuck in my paper clip, and then I took another Tim Holtz metal file tab and stuck it on the top, so that now I have my page marker so that I can go straight to the current month and see it from the top and go straight there, but it's clear so that I can see right through it and it's not in the way at all. But it's secure, it's not going to fall out. It's a really great, she had a really great idea with it, and I just kind of expanded upon it to make a clear one. So nothing fancy in my monthly. I do use my color coding, and I have used a bit of washi, but just getting it all set up. So that's my planning section in here. I'm contemplating doing a weekly thing, especially for next year, because I'm not sure, as much as I love the Erin Condren Life Planner, I'm not sure I want to spend the money to get another one. So I'm contemplating trying out some weekly inserts. I actually have one on the way to me right now from Made with Planner Love, Trisha Roma's new shop. And so I may try that out. I'm not sure. I may just sit on it for a while. But I also considered doing something, because I have a notepad of this week from the Target Dollar Spot. And so I considered doing something where I have just kind of like a bullet journal on a weekly sort of basis, or just events or something that's not, anything that's not in my monthly that still needs to be done, putting that on here. But I think there may be too much. I'm not sure that that's going to work for me. This is my final. I showed in my overview video the one that I made quickly, my 6-pocket envelope from the file folder. But this is the one that I did more permanently from some really cute file folders that I found at Target. So there's these. I just have some of the Traveler's Notebook information there. I don't think I have anything in that pocket. Up, I have some stickers that I've made to use in my journal. I have a Project Life card, and then some other just note pages in case I need them. And then I have my journal. So I'm not going to go through this because it is private, but this is just the lined paper inserts. I I got racked this envelope a long time ago and didn't have a use for it, so I stuck it in here with just some little, this is from IKEA, little gift tags that my mother-in-law got me, so I stuck them in there because they're pretty. Again, reminder, nourish. And then this is a paper clip from Crafter's Retreat, again, that I was given as a little extra from a charm order. So I'll flip past where I've written, but I don't, because I use my A5 Filofax as a daily kind of journal and recorder, this is more for expanded things. It's less a, this is what I'm doing today, this is what we did today, these are what my kids said. It's much more of a, this is how I'm feeling, these are things that happened 20 years ago that I'm reflecting on. It's deeper in that sense, but I'm not necessarily the deepest person, so I don't know how deep it's going, but it's not just recording the day, in other words. I haven't done really any scrapbooking or putting things in yet, but I might. I'm leaving that opportunity, that possibility open for this. Another Project Life card that I stuck on the back, and here is the back of that pocket, that envelope. So I have some Post-its, and I have some to-do sheets in case I want to use those, and then just an ollie clip. I used the Erin Condren pin holder that I'd gotten at Staples when I got all my Erin Condren stuff and just stuck it on here because I knew I wasn't going to use it on my life planner, but I needed some sort of a pin loop, so it works really well. Just stuck, I knew that this was going to be staying, this folder was going to be staying with me for a while and coming from thing to thing, so I just stuck it right on there. And this is just a Target Dollar Spot pin. They're some of my favorites. So just some stickers and craft labels from Target, and then different labels and stickers that were in my Filofax that I just stuck in there. So this is just a Post-it that I have on here. This was one of my attempts at a dashboard that I ended up then cutting down further and making little pockets on either side, so it's laminated like a dashboard would be, but I cut off the edges and made it just surround my last insert. So I just basically didn't want to waste this paper because I really liked this pattern. But yeah, I keep some journaling ideas, and this is kind of a dashboard, but not really. So my last insert is kind of just an everything. It's for doodling, it's for quick notes. I use the craft paper just because I like it. I have another one of the tabs. It doesn't mean anything, but I just liked it, and so I stuck it on just so I could find my last book. I don't have a lot in here yet. I don't have a lot at all. But it's just a place that if we're out and my kids want to color, I can give it to them. I just really love the way the craft paper feels. And so it's just I'm bored, I want something to doodle on, I want to jot something down, notebook. So that's my last one, and then here in the back here I just have a bunch of page flags from the dollar store. And there we go. So I am really, really loving this system. It's working pretty well for me. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels in my hand. I take it with me everywhere. And this leather, I wish that you could feel through the camera. It is incredible. It is gorgeous, and it smells so good, and it is just so soft, and it feels just amazing in my hand. One of those things that once I moved over everything from my original Midori, I started to feel bad because I knew how much I loved the feel of this, and so I got everything set up in here and set it down, and I was feeling bad and picked this back up, and my first thought was, what did I ever see in this? I mean, this is nothing compared to this amazingness. So definitely check out ButeoBunker on Etsy, and I hope that this has been helpful to see how I've got this set up. I'm sure it will continue to evolve, as all planners and journals do. But if there are any huge changes, I'm sure I will report back. Thank you for watching. Bye.